The following podcast may contain adult language, spoilers, and truth. A whole lot of truth. Enjoy.
You can. It's going to be a two-parter, right?
Probably. I mean, it's up to you.
A lot.
You can easily.
I'll probably shoot on Thomas.
That's
For the
fine.
record.
You can. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Safe House, episode 11. How about a little slice of heaven with episode 11 right here? I am your host with the best professional wrestler you have never heard of. Professional wrestler extraordinaire, and your host, your tour guide into the Safe House, Kirby Mack. With me is my 11th guest, Patrick Wright, a.k.a. Circo. I had to make sure it was corrected, and I say the exact name we want to get out there. Patrick, thanks for coming down on the Safe House.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
I've
been wanting to get on this thing for a long time.
Yeah, I've been trying to, we just weren't on the same page. I had a lot going on, trying to work with that.
We both live crazy lives.
Yes, we both choose to subject ourselves to the insane world of wrestling.
Yes.
And maybe this will let people know, at least understand just a little bit why. So why, Patrick? Why did you get into wrestling?
I don't even know if people know that I'm the one behind EVO.
Well, that's what we'll get into. But
why did I get into
why
wrestling?
Did you get into wrestling?
My memory is horrible.
These are old duels.
But I remember.
In a cool bottle.
Yes. And my earliest memories was there were the rubber, I think they were rubber action figures.
LJNs?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But my history
one of my best friends is a big child.
Oh, really?
Rich. He has tons of LJNs.
I know
He's a toy hunter.
But I know you are pretty well from my early days in CWA, which we'll get into.
Fortunately.
But
CWA
I had
champions or Christians with that?
No, I don't know. I don't know Christian.
Or Tyshawn.
Gotcha.
All right, rock it. Let's go.
But that's where I met you. You remember that?
We'll get into that.
But I had a Big John stud and a junkyard dog.
You can call me Kirby.
Kirby.
But I'll make sure the graphics says Big John stud. That I apparently need to clean up.
I had these two action figures and the blue WWF ring.
Yeah.
It had
the
the
red,
bell
white, blue
and
ropes.
everything. Yes.
Yep. Yes, sir.
And that's my earliest memories of it. And I got into wrestling. And the funny thing is, I watched WCW, which is the norm for everybody that grew up in the Southeast.
I watched WWE.
Did you?
But I guess you could say it was normal. I was from
when
Philly.
did you? Yeah, I was about to say when did you move?
I moved out here at 12.
Okay, yeah.
Still diehard. I never watched an episode of WCW.
So you almost grew up. Your childhood was based on like the Northeast wrestling, WWF, because that was before.
Yes.
Well, it was 80. I was born in '83, so I
was too.
Nice. We're getting old.
We're
getting old.
We're getting too old.
But I'm not, like I said, I don't do the history stuff with wrestling. I know history, but I can't put dates on things. Right. Like one of my good friends, Ryan, does commentary.
Ryan Dunn.
Huh? No,
Ryan Dunn in the Macho Man car crash.
Yeah.
You know, that was a rejected skit on Jackhouse. Hi, I'm Ryan Dunn. This is the Macho Man car crash.
Before he died?
No, when he died.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Bad joke.
I'm with you. I was lost for a second.
That's probably going to get a lot of heat.
That's horrible.
I've been waiting to pull that out. I said that the day he died. I've been waiting to pull that out.
Well, I'm glad I gave you that opportunity. I'm glad I gave you the opportunity. But I don't even remember. Oh, I grew up on WCW, which I'm almost positive I didn't pick up on WWF until Raw started live.
Okay.
When like I have very vague early memories of WWF when they did Hammerstein Ballroom, and was it Hammerstein or was it the?
Well, I don't know. To be honest, I can't.
Whatever that was in that building.
Like an
at the big Raw sign.
Yes. RVD jumped off for Sabu. One of those ECW druggies.
And yeah, exactly.
They're not originals. They're druggies.
But and so I grew up on WCW. And we go, I lived in Laurinburg, North Carolina.
Okay.
And, like, they had one big show that maybe, it might have been NWA, I can't. It was either NWA or WCW. I can't remember. Because WCW was very corporate after Turner bought it.
Yes.
So they didn't do a lot of the high school shows and stuff.
Okay. They didn't do a lot of the TNA house shows.
Yeah, exactly. But they, but I remember there was, I think it was NWA. I can't remember what the year, the age, or anything. But it was at Laurinburg High School that my parents took me to, and I was just hooked.
Now, your favorite wrestler is David Arquette, I would assume, because I see a lot of your style.
Thank you. Thank you. No, I like to think of myself that I used to be a good wrestler.
Sure, no, I still are. You know, I think one of the best movies, most underrated of all time, is Ready to Rumble.
God, I was hoping you'd say that.
One of the best films.
I love that movie.
Critically
for the record, I looked 2 days ago. I looked for that movie on Netflix and it was not on there.
Really, it used to be.
It wasn't. I looked up Ready. I do too.
So it's okay.
Actually, my wife owned the DVD.
Really?
No, I might be wrong on that. No, I'm wrong on that.
But
that's one of her favorite movies.
Oh, that was my only exposure to WCW, and then I was like, wow, if this is what WCW is, I will watch because Jimmy the King is the man.
Yes, that made me an Oliver Platt fan.
Yes,
yes,
I'm right there. With
I was
you.
like,
I'm right there with you.
I watched. What's the crocodile movie?
Lake Placid.
Lake Placid, because Oliver Platt was in it.
Exactly, I agree.
From Ready to Rumble.
Yeah, I said, surely I'll see some Jimmy, and his mannerisms reflected Jimmy the King. And I don't know if that was before or after Ready to Rumble, but he's just one of those characters.
It also made me a fan of the guy that, I never know his name, with the beard in that movie. Not David Arquette, but the other one.
Oh, Gordy.
Yes.
I think that was his character name.
His character in that movie
Gordy
was
the character. Yeah, I know you're talking about. I don't know his name, but he's in a lot of movies.
Like,
yeah.
Sold. Great acting.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
To me.
No, the whole thing was great.
Yeah, it's just
every scene for scene, just it one-upped it.
Because well, my background in movies and
squish my butterfinger, baby.
it's like a good comedy movie is just walking out and saying, who gives a fuck what we do? Let's just have fun.
That was fun, yeah. That was fun.
And that's what
I agree.
Yes, but back.
Yeah, so
we grew up on WCW.
So where do we make the casual?
I talk a lot, so we'll get off on tangents.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Where do we make the leap from the fan to super fan, as in becoming a wrestler?
It's weird. Well, I was always a big fan. There was this guy that actually comes to shows that gets just shit faced. The fat guy.
Okay,
Tater.
Yeah.
His name's Terry, but we call him Tater.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I went to high school with him. It's going to be crazy because I'll go into how I knew. Mitch, the referee, went to high school with me. Tater went to high school with me. Jimmy Jack Funk Jr. went to high school with me.
So you were like Paul Heyman, you just had your groupies working for
you? No. But because nobody worked for me until after my run in the business, if you call it a run.
Sure.
But Tater taught me and one of my friends, Brian, into doing backyard wrestling. And I mean, I was the kid that had the trampoline and had the oversized damn Winnie the Pooh bear that would like jump off
sure.
the oil drum and do frog splash on the trampoline and wrestle and stuff.
If I could equate my backyard wrestling federation, which was called UCW, Ultimate Championship Wrestling, if I could equate that to one independent organization as like an analogy, UCW is Pro Wrestling EVO. Like that's from backyard wrestling. When I was running this backyard wrestling company,
yeah,
that's how much passion and hard work I put into this. I had 13 guys on my roster, and we were wrestling in front of trees, man.
Nice, yeah.
And I put so much production and set design and everything just into wrestling with 3 mattresses on my back deck.
But it's amazing because, I mean, well, my career is not in. I have a career in video editing and graphic design and web design.
You need to clean up your graphics, by the way.
I know.
But I haven't. I was
gonna help you. I was gonna give you pointers.
It's just when I get tired of waiting 8 hours for it to render, I say, screw it, we're going JPEG.
Exactly. But it's No, I'm not talking about you don't need motion graphics. Just like I think we'll get into that later. I don't want to sit here.
It's totally formatting from great big file to itty bitty file to
I understand
it's like Aladdin, you know. I have all these powers.
But it's like if you why are we getting off on this tangent?
You're getting off on this tangent.
Because I nitpick everything. Because that's what art school does to you.
I didn't go to art school. I went to community college, but I still had.
I went to community college.
Oh. So we should be able to communicate.
My first degree is from community college. My second degree is from private art school, which I will pay for the rest of my life.
Art institution? Is it that AI?
Yes.
Is it really?
Art Institute of Charlotte. That's where I went. That's where I went. And got
there's
my
one of those like late night commercials where it's like, do you?
Oh, it's horrible, man.
Do you want to be an artist? And it shows like this guy draw this like Van Gogh like painting with a pencil.
Yeah, it's
pretty incredible.
I learned. I don't know. Yes, definitely. It's.
If there's one thing I learned from the Rick Michaels interview, which aired just before yours, and I actually filmed it yesterday, is that the entire world is just full of workers. We're all workers.
Oh yeah.
That's all we do. We just
definitely,
work everyone
definitely.
for the next gig, for the next buck, whatever.
Basically it's $56,000 to hone my skills that I already have.
Mm-hmm.
I am a lot better from my time spent at the Art Institute.
$12 Photoshop for Dummies.
Yeah, but I could have went to, like, I live around the Charlotte area.
Mm-hmm.
I could have went to this, like, CPCC, which is the community college there, and got a graphic design degree, and done the same shit that I do now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now I got a $400 loan payment a month.
Sure. Hold on. Guys, wake up.
Sorry. Are we
I think so.
Oh, sorry. We're getting into, like, me and Kirby, like...
We have a passion for design.
General conversation.
Very, I have a very deep passion for graphics.
But backyard wrestling.
That's where this was from.
Really?
This was a college, funny, ridiculous story. A college my big final project in college was you had to create a company, a logo, and then go to the printing press, make a letterhead, a business card, and an envelope. And that's where Maction Entertainment was born.
Nice. In
college. That's where this logo came from. And then I started the freelance graphic company, and then Maction Entertainment kind of became the brand of Maction Wrestling, and then so on and so forth.
Nice.
So anyway, Taylor.
My first match in backyard wrestling was me and my buddy Brian, who was probably 5'4", maybe 100 pounds soaking wet, against, I call him Boyd, which is his shoot name, but Jimmy Jack Funk Jr.
Dory?
No bullshit, Dory.
I love him, man.
I do too.
He's a good guy.
And that's
he was a lot bigger guy.
Yes. But that's like full circle.
Mm-hmm.
I was a junior in high school. He was a senior.
Yeah.
And my buddy Brian was a sophomore.
Yeah.
And so I think about that. And I'm like, this was 2000.
Okay.
And
more things change.
And me and my little buddy are wrestling. Who everyone, well, not everyone, but some people know
now,
as Jimmy Jack Funk Jr.
Yeah.
And just shit. But that was the. We did.
Are you aware of a guy that's just in this area? Well, he wrestles in this area. His ego transpires the universe. Supreme Deluxe or something like that. The Deluxe Edition. Supreme's a black guy.
How long has he been working?
He's been working about as long as I have. Not a couple years less than me, but he big star at All American Pro Wrestling APW. He worked at APW for a little bit. Black guy acts like The Rock.
So when were you in APW?
Oh man, only.
When did you start? What year did you start?
2001, and I was at APW. I was with APW for maybe 6 months.
Because I had. Well, we'll get into APW because
anyway,
I was at APW.
Okay.
But it wasn't when you were there because I remembered you because I think before I had met you at CWA, I had heard of you. Something like that.
My reputation.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, for those of you who do know Supreme Deluxe, the Rolex Edition, whatever this guy's name is.
What name is that?
I'll pull him up later, but he was on my roster. In my backyard.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Nice. I'm trying to think if anybody else was.
I used to make him put me over in my backyard. You remember that Deluxe Supreme?
That's awesome. Sorry, I don't know you.
You jobbed to me while my mom watched from the kitchen.
Funny story. We built a ring one time. Well, our company was called XWF, Extreme Wrestling Federation, because
That's pretty original.
But
I've never heard it before.
Yeah.
Especially X with an X.
About sued Hogan in those. Wasn't there XWF when Hogan and Jimmy Hart and them did that shit down in Florida?
I think so. Wait, I don't recall, but I know what you're talking about.
God, if I'd have trademarked that.
There was Major League Wrestling. There was.
You know what I'm talking about? They did that little deal that never made it.
Yeah,
They filmed all those vignettes with all those
XPW?
Might have been it. No, it wasn't. XPW is that porn business out in California.
Well, that just exposed me.
No, it was a wrestling organization, but it was owned by that porn guy. I don't know his name. Out in Cali. I like you, man. Okay. But...
I'm pulling this up. I'm going to let you continue.
We're talking about wrestling. I'm
going to let you continue getting from
XWF,
backyarding to training.
Funny story. We spent probably 5 hours building a ring out of wood and mattresses in the backyard.
Okay.
Finished at 10 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
My dad, who is a huge NC State fan, who went to NC State, they lost earlier in the day, which put him in a bad mood.
Right.
Two minutes into the first match, my dad opens the back window and yells, "Shit's over! Cut it off! Everybody go home!"
So your dad was like the South Carolina commissioner.
Exactly. Little did I know. That's why I don't run shows in South Carolina, because it brings that name back.
Yeah.
But
so backyard wrestling.
Backyard
where
wrestling.
Our training from?
Before I got trained, much as I hate to say this, but I think everybody did it around our age, our time. There was a guy, I won't say his name because he doesn't deserve any exposure.
Sure.
But he ran shows in Gastonia every month.
Okay.
Horrible shows. The greatest thing that came out of this was I got a year of ring time, not knowing what the hell I was doing, just going by what I thought was wrestling and what I did in the backyard. And we were two of the best guys. Me and
working in front of a crowd one time.
You know Matt, Big Country.
Yeah.
Like I call him the original Big Country because he was the first Big Country I knew, but he was like the first Big Country in this area. And he made a pretty good name for himself for the short amount of time he wrestled.
This was working in front of a crowd ring time or training?
Like 20 people.
His real name is Andre.
The Supreme Deluxe?
Deluxe, whatever.
Super Deluxe.
Okay,
Super Deluxe.
Andre, got him right here. Let me pull him up and show you.
This is awesome.
This is awesome.
But, Matt, I think you knew him from Johnny's, APW, or ACW.
I'm friends with him on Facebook.
Are you? Is he still doing ring dudes?
Who?
Johnny, you talking about Johnny?
No, I'm talking about the
Oh, Andre, okay. But, I'll get into him too. But,
Andre?
No, Johnny.
Alright.
But,
brother, I still need to know how you trained.
I was getting there, and then we get off on a tangent.
Deluxe Edition Elite.
He don't have that bad look.
Oh, well, that's him from like 8 years ago. But that's him. His face. You know him?
No. Did he? Maybe.
Don't worry, nobody.
Did he come up to a tryout? You were a tryout one time when he was hurt?
I don't know. I always got your shows late because Yeah. But anyway, all right.
CWA was the name of the company, which is the normal name for any company.
Yeah.
This was probably 2002, 2003-ish. And we ran shows in Gastonia Armory every month. And it's funny because there's a lot of people that come from this story. It was me and Matt were the two best workers. You know Body Count from Virginia?
Oh, no.
It's one of them, Scotty something.
That's a tag team, Body Count?
They were.
Okay, no, I haven't.
In Virginia, but then one of them quit, and the other one was named Scotty. He's kind of a pudgy guy, but I can't remember his last name.
Scotty Wren is about the only Scotty I know.
But they were good, but it was the first time I ever met Freight Train.
Okay.
Because he wrestled in that organization in 2002.
Now, he's a shoot.
Huh? Yes.
Freight Train.
Yes.
You need to explain this to people out there. People think
Freight
Train is a work.
Freight Train is not a work. I don't know.
It's like autistic or something.
Yeah, I believe something like that.
Yeah.
But understand that Freight Train is the nicest person
on
the face of the earth.
He thinks what he's doing is like right. And I don't mean like what he's doing is wrong, like, offensively or something like that. I mean, like, he thinks like, when he is wrestling, he sees himself as like working like Shawn Michaels. And this is what he knows.
There was an issue it was brought up to me that there was an issue with some people that were trying to shoot on Freight Train.
Yeah. Out of pure jealousy.
And to me and them, if you shoot on Freight Train, well, I'll get into egos in wrestling, which was made me hate wrestling. But if you shoot on Freight Train,
which as a promoter you dealt with a lot, I'm sure.
Yes, but if you try to shoot on Freight Train, because if you're a nobody, which there's no such thing as somebodies and nobodies anywhere in the world.
But you're so expendable.
Then there's no place for you in my organization if my organization lives, or anywhere in the world, because all you are is an ignorant dick.
Right.
But enough on that.
Well, on the same tangent, that I got a call from somebody that was involved in the situation, and I said, look, let's get down to the brass tacks of what it is. It's a guy who is autistic, who is doing better than someone who is, when it comes just down to the pure wrestling athleticism talent. An autistic guy is doing worlds better, probably getting more bookings and more pay than this guy who has a lot more talent. So this guy who has a lot more talent, who's getting less exposure than a guy with autism, is clearly jealous. And that's all it boils down to.
And for the people who are clearly jealous, Freight Train deserves what he's getting right now more than you ever will.
Absolutely.
Ever will. I love Freight Train.
Now, I ran into an issue. I ran into an issue once this whole thing happened. Most of the times when I talk to ER, I think he just goes against the grain to ruffle my feathers because he likes to get on under my skin. But at this point, I did see where he was coming from. I was angry at these individuals who were insulting Freight Train, and he goes, well, so-and-so, whoever just called you on the phone to tell you about the story is being a hypocrite because all Jake Manning did was he started $5 wrestling as making fun of these guys. I say, yeah, but these guys were in on the joke. Not to mention, they benefit from it.
I don't know if all of them were in on the joke.
Well, no, but if they weren't, they are now, and they.
But if people think that I've become in the past few years like very close to Jake Manning, and I can see where people can, because of Jake Manning's mannerisms or attitude towards some people, where they can get that. But Jake Manning takes such good care of Freight Train.
Sure, no, absolutely.
It's the most. I mean, anybody and nobody like. I don't want to like shoot on it, but legit, like Freight Train is like Jake Manning's brother.
Right.
Like legit, no bullshit. And it's like, and I don't want to fucking ruin Jake's career.
No, you don't have to. But I said, look, if he wasn't in on it from the start, he's in on it now, and as much as he can be from his mental state, and he's benefiting from it. But not only so, Jake Manning gave this guy an opportunity to far surpass any dreams that he ever had of wrestling.
Yes.
And he gave this guy, like, happiness. Like, Freight Train is genuinely happy to do what he does.
That's the key. Because cut out all the bullshit that this world is made out of. The one thing that every living person should be able to do is live their dream. At least once. If it's an extended amount of time, then you've been blessed in life.
Right, absolutely.
But and that's what he does. But the funny thing about it is Freight Train wrestling in front of 10 people in CWA with me 10 years ago. He was living his dream.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the fact that I mean we've had conversations about this, and before the $5 wrestling boom happened, you have to remember that was 8 years of this guy going around, and people were talking shit about him, picking on him, and he still has that positive outlook.
Yeah. So and he used that to the best of his advantage or his abilities to make that kind of his character. You take the worst and make the best out of it. And I think, to Jake's credit, that's what he did, whether he meant to do it or not.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm comfortable in saying and very strong in saying that $5 wrestling started out. I know the reasons $5 wrestling started out. And I'll let you have Jake on here if you ever read that.
Sure.
To let him explain that.
I love to have Jake on. I don't know where me and Jake stand personally.
But $5 wrestling was never thought of as to be what it is today. But I am comfortable in saying that $5 wrestling has changed Jake Manning for the better.
Yeah. Okay.
In the whole retrospect of the situation.
Right. And it's kind of like I said this. I said you just have to look at it like this. Like if I'm P.T. Barnum and I'm giving the bearded lady an opportunity and a job, and obviously I'm marketing her and I'm making money off of her, and sure I'm making fun of her disability because she's the bearded lady. It's okay for me to do that because I'm P.T. Barnum, but it's not okay for these other schmucks to do it. It's like if I'm making fun of you at a bar and picking on you, it's okay because you're my boy, but I'll be damned if these guys do it.
Exactly. And it's, I don't know. We'll end it with Freight Train, I love you, you're the man. I mean, I wish I could be, I don't see him as much as I wish I could, because, it's just, we don't see each other. But whenever we do, he is one of the few people that I can see him, and before I even talk to him, it brightens my day.
I've had very minimal encounters with him.
Legit,
everything's been very positive.
That dude is a blessing to this world.
And legit. It's funny because it's not even funny really. It's just amazing. I can sit there and I can sit at home and wallow in my self-pity all that I want, but then you look at a guy like Freight Train and you're like, wow, how is this man always positive?
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
So he's got a good outlook on life regardless.
Yes, it's unbelievable.
All right, so...
So, we're running... you do that shit with your wallet.
Yeah, you do your story.
We're doing the shows.
I'm the host.
We're doing we're doing shows in Gastonia every month. 90% of the people on the shows aren't trained. Because of this and because...
changed.
Yeah, because of this and because we did backyard wrestling and we had a little place in Charlotte we could go train, but we weren't really training, we were just working. Like, just go through matches and practice moves and shit. Mm-hmm. Nobody ever taught us the deal.
Yeah, I got you.
And we were the best of the best out of that group. So we always had the main event spots and this and that. Well, then one like 6 months in, these two pudgy kids walk in. And they were like, we're from Gastonia, we're from Gastonia, and we've been backyard wrestling, we want to get into this stuff. And these two people, there's actually 4 of them, but 2 of them were in pretty good shape. 2 of them were not. Mm-hmm. And the 2 that were not were Rowdy James and Zach Salvation.
Zach Salvation.
And, yeah. And, I mean, dude, but
that's
they
a guy
were
I'd like to have.
But legit,
right,
and I'll try to help you make that happen.
Yeah.
And, like, legit, they were good. I mean, they were really good. Because I think they were good because we all had the same mindset. Like, we had all been backyard wrestling. Like Zach and Rowdy put how deep are we?
No, you're fine. I'm a stickler making sure it doesn't stop.
Zach and Rowdy had put on a show like when they were seniors in high school that drew like 1,000 people.
You know, Zach's one of those guys that there is no warm area with him, with people. You either love Zach Salvation as a wrestler or you hate him.
Well, I will get into that.
And I think it's his personal attitude towards wrestling. And I don't mean that in any way. I mean, Zach's a realist, man. And I've always been drawn to people who are real and who are honest and who speak their mind like you, which is why we get along so well. And people like Black G's up in CCW, people like Paul London, even people like Thomas Simmons, just people who are honest in such a crappy business.
Exactly.
Zach's a realist.
And that's why some people don't like him, is because he tells them the truth. He don't kiss ass, he don't bullshit, he just tells them the truth.
Exactly.
But long story short, we keep running. While we are running, my cousin had a boyfriend for 7 years who I talk to her, I don't talk to him a lot. But no, I still, if I see him, I'll say hey. But he had just gotten signed to WCW. His name is Jeff Justice.
Okay.
You know Jeff Justice?
Yes.
And then they closed. So when did they close? 2001? 2003?
When Shane McMahon bought it.
Yeah.
You don't know. I know.
But they had closed, so they reneged on his deal and stuff. Blah blah blah. Well, he owns a glass shop in China Grove. And he had a NWA ring, 20 foot by 20 foot, in his shop, and they run every Tuesday night. And he said, "Listen, I got a few people want to train. You can come train. I know you don't worry about paying for it. I'm getting paid by other guys. Just come train if you want to really learn how to do this."
Right.
So we started training. We do it every Saturday morning. Every person that was with me in the class, except for Big Country Matt, left.
Okay.
It was just me and him left. But lo and behold, the first Tuesday, we trained for about 2 months before we ever came on a Tuesday night, which was a bunch of guys there just to wrestle around and practice and stuff. And when our first Tuesday night we came was when I got initiated by Jeff in a match and just got, the deal, got the shit out of it. Which I enjoyed the hell out of it because I knew what was going on.
Right.
And
earning your respect.
Yes. And the only thing I remember from that whole match, I remember he lit me up with a clothesline, and he got me in a corner and gave me the deal, leapfrog or up and over. Threw me in. I go to up and over, and he catches my legs and turns and does the Alabama slam as hard as he can. And at that point right there, I learned that the harder I hit the mat, the less it hurt. Right. It did not hurt at all.
Right.
And everybody's like, "Oh shit!" But I stepped foot in the glass shop on Tuesday night, and it is, listen to this damn cast of characters: Jeff, Brad, Lodi wasn't there yet because Lodi came later. Mike, that owns High Spots. Johnny Blaze, ACW Johnny Blaze.
I used to work
Patrick.
with him.
That might have been where I met you the first time.
Wow.
I remember Dexter. I remember TJ doing the Dexter Poindexter deal.
The greatest nerd character ever.
Yes, yes. Some dude that played an Indian gimmick from Spartanburg. I can't remember his name.
Michael Youngblood?
Maybe. Was he like a little guy? Was like he had the eagle hair.
Yeah, he looked like
black.
Eagle, but yeah, that's him.
Yes, that's who it was.
Michael Youngblood is his name. I know you're talking
about.
He looked like
you remember Kenny?
In shape, Kenny who?
That was in Homies with That Tuber Mike.
Oh yes.
Kenny was there.
Okay.
So that was the legit people that taught me the business. And then Lodi came in later after WCW completely closed down and he moved back to Charlotte.
And cast the Ready to Rumble. Jeez.
Yes, dude. And so that's like when I say that when we started like going out and getting bookings, we were good. We were fucking pretty good because we had all those people to teach us. Right. And from there, well, let me get into this. I was thinking about going to play football out of high school. Okay. At a college. Then I decided I didn't want to because I had
real sports.
I had friends that did it and it was their life, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to enjoy life.
Football was a work.
Yeah, football is a work. Everything's a work.
Absolutely.
But so I got into wrestling. But the difference between me and everybody else is that I never wanted to make it in wrestling. Like I never wanted to go to WWE. I don't want that life.
Never once had that.
Never. Ever. I loved doing it. It was fun to me. It was not really a hobby. It kept me in shape. It's something that I could work. It gave me a reason to work out, like on a regular basis, hard. Right. Because I know I have to go put on these tights in a week.
And run for 10 minutes straight.
Yeah, and run, and I have to be in ring shape. So I'd go every Tuesday night, and that'd be my cardio. Because I hate doing cardio. Oh God. That'd be my cardio, as you can tell. That'd be my cardio. And I had something to strive and look forward to because I'm really goal oriented.
You know, the funniest thing, you can run 45 minutes at 7.5 on a treadmill for 7 days out of the week, but get in that ring and still get blown up. It's just something about ring conditioning that is.
I don't understand it.
It's everything all
because
at once.
Matt, my training partner, can.
He says, I don't understand.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't.
I don't either, man.
He's 250.
Yeah.
Like solid 250.
Yeah.
But this motherfucker could run ropes for 30 minutes and not even like. Do you know the rope drill where you throw, drop down, bump?
Yeah.
And the person that's running the ropes bumps, and then the other person runs rope, and you just keep trading.
Yeah.
Till somebody screws up.
Yeah. Or gets blown up.
Yeah, it was the same thing.
Exactly.
They blow up and they come up. But I saw Matt go through Mike, Johnny Blaze, and Jeff in the same back to back.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even breathing hard.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how can he?
It's crazy.
And I've never had I have to plan. Whenever I was real big into wrestling, I would plan matches around my cardio or my conditioning because no matter how much I ran, how hard I trained, I'd never after about 5 minutes I'd be blown up. And I think it's my mind because I'm a perfectionist. It helps me out and did design and everything, but I'm thinking this spot. I don't want to fuck up this. How can I make this look the best? And then my mind blows myself up. Right.
No, I get it. After my second punctured lung and into the lung surgery, I definitely always had to work around my weakness, which was cardio. Mm-hmm. So I always had to make sure, okay, well, when am I going to be able to take a breath? And I tell you, it was some of the hardest things that would push me, especially after a string of injuries and personal problems and stopped working out for a while because of depression, was those damn matches you kept putting me in with Chiva. I was like, when am I going to be able to get a break and breathe in this match? So I had to work around, his strength and my weakness, and I don't know what it is about cardio, but I always tell my students now, I was like, you have to be in ring shape, you have to be able to breathe. Because if you can't breathe, you can't think, and if you can't think, then you can't work.
Yes, exactly. But so we started traveling somewhat, but Jeff had an in with Ricky Nelson, who's NWA Mid Atlantic. Yeah, and so one of our first matches in front of a crowd was in Pageland, South Carolina, at a Page show. I'm guessing because that's all Ricky ever does. Yeah, and it was in front of 1,200 people. And this was our first time. Sure. And what was so funny, and this is God bless Petey Williams, because I saw him do the Destroyer on TV. I was like, man, we need to try that shit. And think about, you see two cruiserweights doing it, but think about a 250-pound guy doing it to a 6'3".
Right.
Like, I was about 200 then.
Sure, you guys probably did it good, but have you ever seen the video of
you getting it done?
No.
Oh, I've seen.
What the hell are you talking about? Mine was good.
Was it?
Yeah. Well, I worked Petey. What are you talking about?
It was a good match. I don't know.
The Destroyer was good. What are you talking about?
It's
Get
like,
off my show. It seemed what?
I can't remember.
Get off the show. I'm putting it on a screen right here, and we're watching. Okay, watch. Ready? Sets it.
You're not going to put it on there, because anytime you ever say you're going to put shit on
watch it. Sets it.
Uh-huh.
Boom! Perfection. I put it
look,
over. I'm a freaking champion.
It might not be the one I thought.
What I'm trying to say, there is no. That's the only one I took. What I'm trying to say is, have you ever seen Trevor Murdoch try and give it to Matt Hardy?
No. Why did Trevor Murdoch try to do it?
Oh my God! Apparently, Trevor Murdoch used to do it on the Indies before he got signed.
Was he always fat?
Yes. But he apparently was impressive because he was fat. Because, it's not Trevor. It's not the guy. It's not Petey doing the move. It's the guy taking the back.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the whole deal, because I'd always tell Matt, I'd be like, just jump.
He should go and thank everyone who ever took that move, because they're the ones that put that move over.
No, Chris Sabin is the one who put that move over.
Yes, I agree.
That's the one that I saw.
You go watch 280-pound Trevor Murdoch, probably 300 this time in the Fed, try and give it to bow-legged Matt Hardy.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, bro. It was like one of the worst botched sunset flip bombs you've ever seen in your life. As a matter of fact, it's right here. Oh! I can't watch.
That's pretty bad. But what's funny about it is, and I got funny stories about Ricky Nelson, which I've always gotten along with him, is he knew we did it.
Like, I took a bad Canadian destroyer. I never took a bad bump in my life. What's this kid talking?
I know. I'll get to the first time when me and Glute beat y'all for the tag titles.
Glute!
In CWA. You remember that?
No. Wait. No.
It was like a fluke thing where I called you guys out. I didn't even know you guys.
I took the big butt thing from Glute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
well, wasn't that when Glute did the double Bubba bomb on me and TJ?
Yes.
Yeah, man. I love Glute.
But that's the only
My favorite thing...
I think that's the only time I ever saw him, because we became champions, and then he never came back. And then I got stripped of the belts, and I was just like...
What the hell?
I don't know.
My favorite thing...
Fuck you, Tyshawn.
Working, yeah. Ty sometimes is all over the place, but I love you, even though you tried to kill me. Which, that's a shoot story. I don't know if you ever heard that. Knife to my throat. My favorite thing...
I think I heard it in
I'm sure you've heard it
Hooters.
Yeah. My favorite thing... Anyway, let me get this out. My favorite thing about Glute is selling for Glute. I love making Glute look like a monster.
Yeah.
Which is why I really enjoyed when you... Yeah.
Does he?
Which is why I really enjoyed when you put me in the feud with Aaron... Is that his name?
Aaron
Epic? Aaron? What's his name?
Eric Royal.
Eric Royal, thank you. Wrong name, wrong guy. I really enjoyed when you put me in a feud with Eric Royal, because I was always just a huge mark for Vader versus Shawn and just selling for the big guy.
Yeah.
That's where I know 100% absolutely my strength is taking an ass kick.
Take hard bumps.
Yeah, I know that's my strength. So I worked to that, and that's why I was like, thank God you're putting me in the ring with McGill Gorilla, because I'll make this guy look good.
Yeah.
Totally racist, too, intended on my part.
Shit, what was I talking? Oh, so we did the Canadian Destroyer. Like, the way we figured it out is, like, legit. He just got...
Is that when you took the bad bump from Pete Williams?
No. Shut up. But, we did it in practice. But what was funny is Jeff had told Ricky that we could do it. So, this is what's so fucked up about the wrestling business. Ricky comes to us and he's like, listen, brother, if I want you to do the flip pile driver, but you're the first match on the card, so I need you to go home with a roll up in the corner.
Right. Was Petey on the show?
No. Okay. No. The only time I ever met Petey was in Jacksonville.
Okay.
But we.
Do you remember Bobby Houston?
I didn't come around until after Bobby Houston. We'll get into it because I came in and did CWA.
Yeah.
Like the show after you guys had the 3-way with Chase and
Naturals.
The Naturals.
Real quick story. When Bobby was Ty's John Cena, he used to use the Bulldog for a finish because he was big. He basically worked like Ricky Morton.
Yeah.
Me and TJ.
He was trained by George, wasn't he?
Yes, I believe so. Me and TJ had a move where we would get up on the top rope, give 2 double punch 10s to 10 count, right?
Yes.
And then we'd turn with the punch hand and we would double Bulldog off.
Okay.
In sync. Bobby Houston heard us calling that spot and he's like, hey man,
don't do a Bulldog.
Can't do a Bulldog. That's my move. And I was like, are you kidding me? This is like...
It's a Bulldog.
It's a double Bulldog, first off. It's totally out of context of a finish. It's 2 guys doing it to one off of the rope and he goes to Ty and Ty's like, Kevin, Bobby Houston's move. Don't do the bulldog. So I didn't do the bulldog.
I started doing the bulldog after my high knee because every time I'd call it, everybody would be like, "Talking about the CM Punk high knee."
Oh yeah.
So I was like, you know what? If everybody's gonna do it, then fuck you.
Don't do the bulldog. That's Bobby Houston's move.
Don't do the bulldog. Okay, I'll remember that for future reference.
So,
but we did the destroyer to where we put it in a match where he hit it and I fall out to the floor.
At least you didn't kick out.
Well, after I fell off to the floor, he picked me up and was trying to put me in the ring. Out, the whole deal. Laying on the thing, chops me. So we trade chops on the floor. Then he clotheslines me on the floor and throws me back in. Go ahead, go home. The coolest thing about that whole deal. Remember, this is our first big match, like legit, real big match.
Yeah.
With names on cards and stuff. And Matt celebrates, walks out. I go get my elbow pad that came off at some point in the ring. And I'm standing in the middle of the ring.
You did the people's elbow.
Exactly. And the whole fucking crowd starts chanting, "You suck." Like in unison.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is my first match. Like, legit match. I probably had
personal?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I was just like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And I've had that video ever since it happened. And I'm just like, oh my God. And I was stuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's the first time you pop a crowd.
Yeah. I was just like, are you shitting me? And I remember I'd show all my friends, look, watch this. Who gives a shit about the match? Watch this.
Right.
This last 5-10 seconds of the crowd chanting, "You suck," before I get out of the ring.
All these people right here.
Exactly.
And they were doing everything.
These people don't know who the hell I am.
Right.
I mean, but did a few shows there. Went to. This is when, through the CWA deal in Gastonia, we were still doing stuff for that. But Matt got booked in ACW.
Mm-hmm. Johnny Blaze.
Yes, and this was the same time that Zach started getting in better shape. And him and Rowdy went to APW, American Pro Wrestling, when they were doing the professionals gimmick.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. I followed.
So Matt's in ACW. I'm still working this shit promotion, which 90% of the time, Matt would work ACW early and then come down to Gastonia and work the CWA show.
Sure.
So work. I don't, like I said, my problem is I didn't give a shit as long as I was wrestling somewhere.
You were just having fun.
Yeah, exactly.
I think,
and that hurt me in a sense that I didn't put myself out there.
Yeah.
And that's why when people, like when I tell people, like when I started doing the Circo gimmick, and we'll get into why I did the Circo gimmick. Right. People would be like, how long have you been working? Like 2 years? And I'm like, no, I've been working like 6.
Right.
And they're like, well, where are you going? And I'm like, I only work these few places. A, I don't feel like driving the fucking forever.
Right.
You know what I mean? And B, I just do it to where I can go have fun.
And I think
like it was never about pay to me. It was never about making a living off of it. It was, I mean, I've always had a job. I was always in school. So it was like, this is, I almost consider, like I said, I'm a goal-oriented person. And it gives me something to look forward to every week.
Right.
So like on Monday when I go to work or school, I'd be like, on Saturday, I'm wrestling.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's what you and TJ
helps you go through the week.
You and TJ have in common. Like I always did it for the career. I needed to be a career. TJ just did it for the love of it. Just like those old gimmick promos we used to do at PWS for the love of it. Simple.
Exactly. And we, so then I started helping out because Johnny was like, listen, man, I'll try to get you in if you come and help out. The typical promoter bullshit. Yeah. And which I don't have any heat with Johnny. I mean, me and him have always gotten along. And then he booked me, which he in a sense he kept his word because he finally booked me at ACW. He used me as an example to all the other trainees for some golf reason. And then he booked me in a main event against Matt because it was setting up for the triple threat match between Lodi, Johnny, and Matt at a Tony Hunter show. And like I was the guy from the past, Matt's past that he brought in.
Okay.
And there was probably about 3. He used to pull good crowds.
Yeah, oh yeah,
300 people.
Absolutely.
And but we came out. We finished with a Canadian story because everybody knew we did it. And that was probably one of the best matches me and Matt ever had. And that was another thing is everywhere we go, it'd be me and Matt working each other.
Yeah.
So just like if Jeff got us a booking here, we'd go there and they'd be like, all right, you two know each other, y'all work each other out. Yeah. I know y'all put on a good match. You know how it is.
Right.
And so I went through a spell probably the first 3 years that I was just paranoid as shit about working with other people.
Sure.
Like I didn't want to because I wasn't comfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
You haven't set that.
And I don't have that, and I didn't have that like drive to I want to get better. You know what I mean? I was just like, I'm good.
Let me do what I know how to do.
Yeah, let me go out there and do the moves I know how to do.
Box
exactly.
And get the reaction.
Which is bad, which is not good, but it is what it is. That's how it was.
Right.
And then I'm trying to think. I might have not even got out of that spell until I got to Sean's organization, Ty's organization. But then Zach calls and he's like, "Listen, dude, you need to come down to APW. They're about to do TV, and you can edit." And I was like, "All right, let me go down there."
Right.
So I started going down there, and I'd do a little here or there. I was never a regular down there because I don't feel like driving down there every weekend. Right.
Well, would you edit though? Would you help?
Yeah, I did their TV.
Okay.
I did their. I don't know if it was their first TV year. It was before they were in Chesney. I mean, it was after they were in Chesney. They were in Spartanburg in the little shopping mall.
American Coliseum.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay. But it was. I remember. The only thing I remember about it, I remember fucking Shane Mullet.
Austin.
Yes. God, I love that dude.
Yes. It was like
but yes. But I mean, now we'll get into this with Evo, but if I'm going to do something, you know this about me. If I'm going to do like when we did iPay-per-view for the first time, or when we do DVDs or this or that, I'm going to make that shit look as good as possible and as industry standard as possible. Well, I get down there after I talked to Eagle and we agreed to do TV. I get down there and they have a fucking 1984 VCR video
handheld camera. Oh,
handheld camera that Shane Austin's running around with.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
maybe over my head here.
Yeah, this is gonna be horrible. Which I mean, I guess it turned out they didn't do it long.
Right.
I didn't do it for them long. But I remember. I don't remember much. I remember, I hear you guys talk about Boomer all the time. I remember Boomer. I remember Mark Romeo.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I was only there 6 months. I wasn't there that long, and then Thomas
Fury.
came in.
I remember Fury.
And,
what's Little Fury's name? That used to be his tag partner.
The Juvenile Delinquents. Jerry's kid.
Is that Jerry's kid?
Yeah, man.
No, not the one's got a lisp.
Yeah, that's Bragg. That's a Bragg.
Really?
Jeremy Bragg, I think.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Damn, I learned something today.
Yeah, congratulations.
But I always got along with Nick. I saw Nick in Florida because I guess Willie got him booked on a show in Florida for the convention.
I don't have a problem with Nick. I have a problem with Nick's spelling and grammar.
Yeah, that gets on my nerves.
And
I tell Ty that shit all the time about his tweets.
Yeah, I do. I told Thomas the other day. I said, I don't think Ty Sean needs to be running his PWX Twitter. It's kind of embarrassing.
When we were doing the PWX versus Evo gimmick, I was like, I'm gonna talk shit to Ty.
Yeah.
And you can't because every time you talk shit to him, he texts something back, and he blames it. I mean, Ty's not the best grammar person anyway.
Right.
But he blames it on the spelling on his phone.
The autocorrect and all that. Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, but we're both gonna get a phone call after this.
Oh yeah, after it airs.
You don't like my grammar?
Told you not to shoot
yeah.
But back to APW. I remember Zach and Rowdy were the tag champs down there, and I did a DVD for them first, and then they were like, "Yes, we want you to edit because these people, I guess, will find out by the end of this thing, I'm probably the best editor."
Right. Sure.
And I'm not egotistical about it. That's why nobody really knows who I am.
Right.
But I remember the only thing I really remember from APW. I remember a tag team tournament they did, and we got me and a guy named, I can't remember his name, he had long hair, from High Spots that was training at High Spots, got the luchador outfits from High Spots that they had, and did Intergalacticos, and we came out with
the Beastie Boys. So this is where Circo.
No. This is it was just something we did one time. That might have been my introduction into APW.
Okay.
It was just I had a mask on, nobody knew who I was.
Sure.
I was just gonna go down and see if I liked it.
Sure.
And I was down there for about 6 months on and off, probably 2 weekends a month. 2 weekends a month.
Okay.
And Zach got me over with all the boys because they were over. Him and Rowdy, which was a very good gimmick. And the only thing I really remember was one match with Nick Fury that Zach was like, he's gonna kick the shit out of you.
Always does.
And he didn't. Like for some reason I was like, I told him, I said, I'm gonna avoid him snap marrying me at any cost. and everything else, and this is and this will make up for me botching the Petey Williams deal with you, because like it's weird because I have a story about when I wrestled you in that tag match, the only time me and you have ever wrestled,
right?
In that tag match, about how, and God, it's gonna sound like I'm kissing your ass, but it's the God's honest truth. It was the first time that someone was in sync with what I was doing. Mm. So if I throw a punch and you sell the shit out of it, it makes it look so much better. And I could tell, and I was just like, fuck, man. You know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying?
No, I got you. We're on the same page.
And I was just, yeah, exactly. And I was like, I can't fucking stand this dude. But goddamn, man.
Oh, you couldn't?
No, yeah. But like I said, we'll get into that.
Sure.
But I was like, you can't deny that shit. Right. Like, that fucker is good.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, every punch I threw, like, I hit you with the Orton backcracker. Like, the backbreaker.
I think I remember this.
And you sold the shit out of it. And I was like, because you hit it and you bounced up, but you stayed, like, bent, and then you bumped on the I was just like, fuck, man, this dude's making me look like $1 million. Which might have won you over.
May have.
But,
that's just, I just know that's my strength again, and I just love it so.
Yeah, and I was just like, damn. But that's the only thing, and me and Zach talk about that shit all the time, about how when, right before he was going to ask, but you know he's going to kick the shit out of you, just give it back to him.
Yeah.
Zach. And, but after APW, I went to Chester, because Zach went to Chester.
Yeah.
Like Zach always tells me, like me and Zach were having a conversation not too long ago, where Zach was like, just sitting here thinking about it, Patrick, you're the reason I got most of my, like, I got put in places. Mm-hmm. Like, I got him to ACW with Johnny and this and that, because I was like, Johnny, check these guys out. They're doing good down in South Carolina.
Right.
And,
you were his link.
Yeah, but Zach got me in a bunch of places.
Yeah.
Like, Zach got me in Chester, and this is when Abel and Phil.
Okay, yeah.
And,
Team Ego.
Yeah.
Was running.
Team Ego. Romeo was there then. I didn't have a problem with Doug. Mm-hmm. I still don't. I mean, same promoter bullshit, which is, you know what you get into.
Yeah, yeah.
And McCone. Well, that's where I met Cole Maccabee. Mm-hmm. And Cole's okay, but he's not great. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I like Cole. I haven't talked to him in such a long time.
Right.
But they came up with the idea of a gimmick called Perfectly Cool.
Okay.
Where I was Perfect Patrick Wright, and Cole was Cool Cole Maccabee. So James McCone, I think James McCone came up with it.
Okay.
And James McCone was our manager.
Yeah.
Our manager. But
valet.
But that's what James McCone is.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know. I kept getting heat with Chester because they were so full of shit.
Too serious they did?
They do. Yeah. They did, but they were so full of shit because that was the first time I was a part of something that was hot.
Okay.
Like our tag team.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, we're going to do this. And then I'd go to their big outdoor show and I'm wrestling, what's his name? Vinny? No. He had a thing going. He wrestled down in Florida a few times. I can't remember his name. He did an Irish gimmick. But Vinny, I think it was Vinny something.
The only Vinny I knew was a Vinny Payne.
No. And I wrestled him and get squashed in a damn singles match. And I'm like...
So it was a typical not
bullshit. Promises. And I'm just like, man, I drive. Fucking
Which is funny, because if you want to jump ahead really quick, and we'll go right back, but I remember having a conversation with Trevor Lee at the EVO Evolve show, and him accusing you of the same stuff, because he was very, very angry that night.
Oh, that's because they shit on my time.
Undelivered that you would give him over and over again.
That's because he yells the N-word at EVO 8.
Trevor Lee's biggest...
At our biggest show.
Yeah, Trevor Lee's biggest enemy is Trevor Lee.
Exactly. I agree 100%. That's why I let you shoot on him.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid's got to learn somehow.
Yeah.
But it's...
And I definitely shot all over.
It's but the sad thing is he's got some of the best potential out of all those guys.
Crazy potential.
Because he's got his body in check.
Yeah.
Thanks to...
Yeah.
But,
crazy, it is what it is.
But, I'm trying to think. Oh, Chester. So, like, legit, me and Cole, which I was decent, but like I said, I I was your average wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
I was never great because I didn't put myself out there to be great.
To that extent, right.
Yeah. And I was a decent wrestler, and I had platinum blonde hair, like I called it Beckham hair.
Okay.
Like when he was platinum, like white, and was real tan, and I was like down on like 185, so I was decent. I had I've never been really cut, but I had a decent look. And Cole's really never had a decent look.
Cole was Cole.
Yeah, I mean I love Cole, and he
does
what he does. He does what he does, and I guess he's doing good with his deal. And like we had something hot, like the girls would yell for us when we were heels.
Mm-hmm.
Guys would boo us. Mm-hmm. Like that typical John Cena deal. And I was like, dude, there's money.
Let's go with Dolph Ziggler.
Dolph Ziggler deal. Nice. Well played. And I'm like, dude, there's money all over that. Like, I'll job out the Team Ego any day of the week.
Yeah.
Because we deserve to. Like, we need to be like, oh, God, we're the fucking best. And then they beat the shit out of us.
Yes, exactly.
We're the fucking best. Beat the shit out of us. Let's steal their belts. We are the best.
Right.
They beat the shit out of us.
Right.
And that's fine. But it's just, like we did the belt stealing gimmick. And then they came out, like, this was the first time that I was part of an angle. Mm-hmm. Loved it. Mm-hmm. My favorite time in professional wrestling.
You actually had direction.
Yes.
And it's definitely different when you're going to a show and you're just wrestling versus when you have direction.
Yes.
Having direction is great.
And the fact that I was working with Abel and Will, who are fun as hell to work.
Oh, yeah,
anyway.
Absolutely. Love working with those guys.
They were like, I don't mind taking an ass kicking. Like, I don't mind getting hit. It's not gonna piss me off.
Right.
And I remember one time we were in Lancaster, and we were wrestling Will and Abel, and the finish was, or Will did something where he threw. This is when he got knocked out. He threw you to the turnbuckle. You front bumped it, and you came out and he hit you with a clothesline.
Yeah.
But he threw me in. You might have been back bumped, but I front bumped it. Came out and fed to him, and he lit the fuck out of me, like to the point where I bumped on the back of my head.
Yeah.
And it was fine. And I was like, and he's like, oh my God, are you all right? And I'm like, dude, that's brilliant, beautiful.
Will's a big teddy.
Yeah.
Man. I love Will.
And then Abel's so funny because Abel, when he wrestled, you know what I mean?
Abel's an
angry he's the coolest.
Yeah.
Let's do this shit. All right.
Yeah.
Because I was young and stupid, so I do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? Let me do a belly button off top rope when the ceiling's only 16 foot tall.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, why not?
Let's do it.
Sounds cool. But so we had something going, and then they just kept bullshitting, and to where I was just like, I mean, Zach was the champion. I remember one instance that the first time I ever called something on the fly was the main event at a show down there was Cole versus Zach, because that was the big feud that we were doing. And we'll have two stories from APW's history. And like 2 minutes into the match, Zach throws Cole into the turnbuckle, and Cole doesn't get all the way around because he's Cole. And he hits his knee on the turnbuckle and blows his knee out.
Okay.
Left knee.
Ooh.
So we're standing there. He's like, I can't move my knee. Pull him out. Oh, I can't walk. So Zach's like, what the hell's going on? So I instinctively, because I've known Zach for years, say, take Cole to the back. I got it.
Right.
So I get up there. I'm still in my gear. Take my shirt off. Let's roll. And the whole match on the fly. And it was the funnest damn match
most of the time
ever.
They are. Yeah.
And I remember one time, I've always wanted to, like, work light, like, work soft, kind of, not, a lot of people beat the shit out of me because it makes it easier to sell.
Yeah.
Like, somebody hits me, I know, sell that shit.
Exactly.
But I really work light. I don't ever kick shit out of anybody. Like, even when I throw back kicks, like, and barely hit them.
Right.
When I can just pump the shit out of them if I wanted to. But, I remember Zach was getting pissed off at me in that match because I wouldn't lay into him. He's like, this is the main event. Fucking lay into me.
Yeah, exactly.
There was one point where he threw me into the turnbuckle and he went down to give me a back body drop. And I kicked the shit out of him in the chest. And he came up and I just swung as hard as I could on the clothesline.
Yeah.
And me and him, I bumped on my face and he bumped on his back. And he turned and looked at me. He's like, that's what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly. That's like I gotta warn people. I'm like, look, I lay in, but I expect it right back.
Yeah, exactly.
I expect it away.
Yeah.
Not in a shoot way. Just give it back.
I mean, is that your time?
Yeah, that's an hour.
But how much time do you have, like, per?
Yeah, we'll see where we go.
But we can end it after APW.
Let's get the circle and then get.
We'll do that on the second hour.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well,
good cliffhanger in there.
Exactly. And then we did all that shit. And second story was we did a Rumble one time for Chester. And keep in mind, my creativity is going because you know how it is. Mm-hmm. You're in a story. You have something to go on, and so you can just work. Like your mind just goes crazy over shit you can do. So we came up with the idea.
I would feed you for EVO.
Exactly. And we and the mindset that I was in was a basis on what EVO was built on. And but we had a Rumble, and the story we had was Zach was number 1, Cole was number 2, and I was number 3. Mm-hmm. And we went through the whole Rumble, and it was us 3 at the very end. And we hit Zach with a finisher that we had that was it was almost like the big boot that some people do in the corner, where somebody runs at them and they put both their feet up and they catch them and stomp. Mm-hmm. But I did it with 1 foot, and I'd push them down, and Cole would do a backcracker.
Okay.
So it was a cool-ass finish.
Yeah, sure.
But we hit Zach with it, and then we tried to throw him over the ropes, but we couldn't get him up. So we were like, then we propped him on the rope, and we were going to both clothesline him. But you know the deal. Whenever we ran to clothesline him, he fell and pulled the rope down. We both flopped. The crowd popped huge, and we were over. I puked at the gas station on the way home because I was so blown up.
So just out of it, exhausted.
Yeah. And but after that, they were just like, "We're gonna break you guys up." And I'm like,
kind of at your peak.
I'm like,
what's the
turn his face?
Yeah.
Everybody loves us. Turn his face. Let us turn on Macomb. We're over, and people are gonna pay to come see that shit.
Yeah.
We don't get paid shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to make you money.
So at least let us have fun.
And they were like, "Well, we're gonna break you up." So we did that, and me and Cole wrestled each other a few times, and I was just like, "Man, fuck wrestling. I hate it. You're making me hate it."
Yeah, because I remember you disappeared.
So I left.
Okay, so that's where you were going.
And that's where I left.
That's where he left, and that's where we will leave you. Okay, so that's where you left.
Did you keep recording?
Yeah, I keep recording.
Oh, I thought you stopped it and started a new one.
No.
But all right, so that's where I left.
Maybe the cliffhanger. That may not. Who knows?
That was a good cliffhanger.
I'm Crazy K.
I'm coming.
Speaking of, real quick, just to, before we get to that, speaking of, you said this is the first time you called a match and you felt really good about it, and it was fun. And I've vocalized this over and over again. There was a time in my career where I was an asshole, very egotistical, and really for no reason whatsoever. It was just untapped potential that I had. But I was fed this, you're great, you're this, you're that.
It's easy. It's easy if you're a young guy.
I was turned into a monster. And so I was really egotistical. I had a reality check. Things changed for me. And it was a couple years ago. I was running late to a West Virginia show for Gary Damron. I was 3 hours behind because of traffic and just whatever else was going on. I show up to the show. I walk in the door. Gary goes, "You're next." I had 10 minutes to put my gear on.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't meet my opponent until I got in the ring.
Nice.
Called everything on the fly. Match went perfect without a hitch. The crowd was popping like crazy, blah, blah, blah. I came back. I sat down. Finally, I got a moment to chill, and that was the moment where I knew I know what I'm doing. I finally know what I'm doing.
Exactly.
I could show up after driving 6 hours, get in the ring, not even know who my opponent is, and just...
Old school.
I know what I'm doing. And now there's nothing...
Awesome. There's no feeling like it.
There's no better feeling when it clicks like that.
I agree.
So you quit. You're done.
So I quit. I was done.
It's good having you on the show. I'll see you later.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate the story.
That was good. But it's funny because this is where like our paths start crossing.
Sure. And you can remind me because
I
don't recall.
I was out of wrestling for about a year at least.
Nothing to do with it whatsoever.
No, I watched it.
But
I was like, I fucking hate wrestling. I mean, and I'm where I am right now. That's where I was back then.
Passion turned you against it. I got you.
And
that's kind of where TJ is.
And I'll get into why I hate it, but I'm at High Spots one day, and I'm talking to Mike because me and Mike are friends, like legit friends from training because we train. He helped train me, and
you would set the time on his clock before he went to the ring.
Yeah, exactly.
Play with Flake.
Yes, nice. But and Ty's there. And I knew Ty because Ty was one of the people that came in to train at Jeff's that didn't last. And
here's the bus. Here's Ty.
Yeah. And which Ty are you gonna do name association with me?
Yeah.
Okay, well then we'll get to that. But I'll just say Ty found his place in wrestling.
Yes,
his best place in wrestling. But Ty, he's like, Patrick. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, you're not doing anything anymore? And I was like, no, blah, blah, blah. He's like, and I think I was looking for just ways to make some money. Mm-hmm. And he was like, well, Jake does my DVDs, but he's busy. Which legit, Jake is so damn busy with all the high spot stuff.
And Jake works 40 hours in a
day. Exactly. And I mean, legit point. And I was like, well, I can do DVDs for you because this is before I went to art school. I think it was before I went to art school. And so I was decent, but...
And if I may, commercial consideration was brought to you, whatever the hell that saying is, by the following. I have mad respect for Jake Manning because Jake Manning, especially when he first came to the business and started getting some notoriety, Jake Manning was, like, crapped on by a lot of guys as, you're just a cameraman. You just worked a match and now you're filming mine. And, like, a lot of guys that were, like, just breaking into TNA or on the cusp of breaking out, like, they really crapped on Jake, man.
Yeah.
And Jake worked his way through...
See, I didn't know Jake back then.
He worked his way through all of that, and he's just turned into a phenomenal worker. He's got this great gimmick as Man Scout, and he still does his thing. That's a man right there.
I agree. But, that's why I know that it was the show after y'all did the Triple Threat match, because the tapes he gave me to make the DVD was that show.
Okay.
With the Triple Threat match. And, I was like, yeah, I'll come. And he said something about...
It's still before Circo.
Yes. Well, Circo only started in EVO.
Okay.
But I said, if I'm going to do DVDs for you, I might as well wrestle for you. I was like, you don't have to pay me shit. I mean, if you pay me like $20 just for gas to drive to Statesville. He's like, that's cool. And so that's when I started wrestling. And I don't think you were at the first show that I was on.
What was CWA?
CWA.
Yeah.
I said
no,
CWA?
I didn't. No.
Oh.
I was just letting people know.
CWA.
No, I didn't come into CWA until the very end. I was the one that gave CWA.
No, that's when I came. You were there. You were there when I came.
I don't know.
Because it was at the start of the
big brand
classic feud between you and the Elite Icons. Yes, which was amazing.
Why classic? It was classic.
It was.
That's what I'm saying. For this
classic.
I gave CWA.
But it's known in CWA and PWX for that matter, or PWS, whatever the hell you call it now. It's known as the feud.
Yeah.
Like
trying to relive.
The feud that I think surpassed Jake and Bobby.
Right.
But like that would like legit
the
show, the Rise of a Champion show where y'all had the cage match. Was the first indie show I've ever been a part of where I felt like this shit is a big deal. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And
but I was saying I was the one that gave them their kind of branded logo. That CWA logo with the brand out.
Oh, did you? I thought you did the PWX.
I did the PWX logo too, which I was very proud of that one.
Yes, that was good.
That's a badass logo.
Because I remember when you emailed it to me or Ty emailed it to me.
I think Ty emailed it to you, and then I had to email you what the font was that I was using as for the
logo. Oh yeah, because it was the Illustrator
Batman Returns.
And so I started doing the CWA thing, just like I said, just wrestling, just getting back into it, and it was fun because it was a cool locker room.
Right.
Yeah. I had gotten away from it long enough that I had somewhat forgotten the shit that I hated about it.
Absolutely.
And so I started doing his stuff, and he quickly realized, which Mike quickly realized, which I had done stuff for Mike before, but it was all before I got really, really, really good. It was when I was good, not really, really, really good.
Yeah.
And Ty's like, oh yeah, we need to do intro videos and the vignettes and stuff.
Yeah, I remember those.
And I was like, see, that's my vision.
Yeah.
For it. And when we get an EVO, I'll give people my vision of why.
Sure.
But try not to jump ahead. I'm trying to stay on.
You're fine. I'll keep you on track.
And so that's when, and then I wrestled there. I mean, we were legit CWA for 3 years.
CWA was around for a while.
It was around for like 5 until he went on his hiatus to Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm. With Joey.
Yeah. And but then with all that came where I met you, which I thought you were the biggest dick on the face of the earth.
I was.
And just because to me, an ego in any profession is unwarranted.
I agree.
It's just, I mean, I don't care if you're the president of the United States of America, you're still a person.
Yeah.
And the people that you are around are still people. You know what I mean?
Should be treated as such.
And that is somewhat hurt me in wrestling because I don't have an ego. I never will because I don't believe in it.
Right.
It's like, just like we was talking about people shitting on other people. And we'll get into people shitting people.
It's nobody's
and people shitting on people on here. I mean, I just look at it. I just watch it like past guests, and I look at it, and I'm like, who the fuck do you think you are?
Right.
Like you shit on Zach Salvation. You don't even fucking know Zach Salvation.
Yeah, I agree.
Zach Salvation is the most humble motherfucker on the face of the earth.
100%
One of the nicest people ever. Yep. And just because you say you think, oh, I've seen him phone it in or
he's a little fat.
Mail it in a few times. It's like you're
hello pot kettle.
Yeah, it's and that's not to get off on another rant.
And rightfully so. I mean, I was egotistical, and it was nobody's fault but my own. And as much, I was young, invincible, and dude, after every match, after every show on the car ride home, all I heard about was how great I was.
Well, you were a product of your environment.
Oh, brother, was I ever a product of my environment.
Which, I mean,
and I let it get to me.
And it's until you mature enough in life, it will get to you. There's nothing. There's nothing.
With me, man.
There's nothing. You know what I mean? There's nothing you can do.
Yeah. Oh no. Just.
But then we had the match that we spoke of earlier with the tag match, where we won the belts, and then I did a show the next night, which I don't think you guys were on. No, it was King of the Ring. The next night in York, I believe.
I don't know if we were ever on the King of the Rings.
Yeah, TJ was.
Okay, because you would know. You did.
Yeah, because remember, because you hurt your leg and went to the finals and won.
Oh yeah, my knee.
And you legit hurt, what you, Courtney?
Yeah, but I don't think I won.
Yes, you did, because then you fussed because you never got a title shot.
Oh, well, look at you, just knowing me.
Dude, I know this shit because I edited it.
And legit. You know what? That was a real fuss.
Yeah,
I won.
Legit. It was a legit.
I still want my title shot, Ring of Honor. I mean, PWX.
But we did that deal, and that kind of...
Yeah, I went for a springboard off the second rope and blew my knee out.
Well, we did because I think the thing that pissed me off before that match was y'all knew Glute from CWA, the champions with that.
Roger Gleaton's deal.
Yeah, and which apparently people don't like him.
Oh,
I've never met him.
Roger's like the Skinny Thomas Simpson of the South.
Oh, really?
As far as like... People don't like him, but people are scared to say they don't like him.
I know they were hot for a little bit. Like they were.
Bro, when they were Christians with attitude, or Christians with.
Were they Christians? Were that same people that was Christians with attitude?
Yeah, that's the same Christian Federation. And then they dipped Christian and decided to be champions with attitude. When they were Christian Wrestling Association, something like that.
Yeah.
Really nice guys, man. David Garrett was in there.
Before he got signed.
No.
Styles?
No. AJ never worked for them. AJ used to work for the Christian Wrestling out of Texas.
Oh, okay.
That's for sure.
Gotcha. I've seen them online. I've never.
Yeah. Really good group though, man. When Roger and Dave was running, I was really. That was when
they were bringing TNA guys and stuff.
Yeah, that was.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was finally getting real straight with my walk with in faith, and I was like, I really like being a part of this.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I like because I watch. Still to this day, I watch all indie stuff.
Yeah.
To see to see if anybody can live up to the EVO level. And I mean that in a production basis. And B, so if I ever run into these people, I can sit there and say, I'm not trying to be an asshole, I'm just trying to help you out.
Yeah.
Because that's my background. I'm trained in that.
Gleaton had a really good production guy, Dusty was his name. He's really good at what he does.
Definitely.
But I never forget, man, I was really happy to be a part of this Christians Wrestling Association. The Herald Journal came down, they did a newspaper article on me and TJ. We were front page of the sports. It was awesome. It's this really good story, and then all of a sudden it rocked my world, man. When Roger apparently kicked David to the side and decided there's no money in God. We're champions with attitude now, and it was just changed his format overnight, and I was like, whoa, what's going on here? Yeah, they do.
Hence,
I tell you, that is karma.
America.
F yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Same concept.
Yeah.
It's telling the story of America right now.
I feel you, bro.
You shit on God, you're gonna go downhill.
Every time.
And but shit. Oh, CWA. No T-Move.
I never did that in my entire life. That was the first time. Yeah,
really? That was weird.
Inappropriate, but
I get it, whatever.
So you hated me.
But yeah, but
get in line, buddy. Get in line.
No, I hated you because before that, I never had any encounter like hello and you shaving your damn armpits over the trash can before shows.
At least I wasn't doing it on the table.
And true. And
have you seen these? They have to be shaved.
But that match. Like, you and TJ and Glute were sitting there playing the whole fucking match.
Together and
I'm just like...
Yeah. We had a fantasy.
Put on my gear, and then you come to me like, what do you want to do? And I'm just like, let's just call it the fucking ring. And you're like, well, don't you want to do that? Fuck it, I don't care. We'll do this. Obviously, you got it all planned out with Glute. So I'll come in and do my fucking moves, and then let Glute take care of it.
Man, angry Patrick.
But and this is when I was more immature.
When you were on pills,
yeah. And no, wrong person. But
wrong
he's
P. I'm sorry, he's a little PJ.
He's a little. Oh, I was about to say he's a little shorter than me.
Not just the coolest.
Who are you talking about?
Just incredible.
Oh, nice story with him.
Who are you talking about?
Justin. I was talking about Joey.
Oh, Joey Sylvia. It's not. You don't have to be. You're safe. Hey, look.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're safe too, Joey. You're safe on the safe house. We'll never talk about your pill addiction ever.
Never. We God, I get along with Joey too. Not anymore.
I'm sorry, what?
But just incredible. I was up at a NEW show up in New York, helping out Jake and them, and the motherfucker walks up to me. Never met him before in my life.
Yeah.
And I know him because I know what he looks like.
Yeah.
Walks to me, he's like, "Hey man, you running this thing?" I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Standing behind a hot spots table.
Yeah.
For the love of God. He's like, "Who's running this thing? Is Mike running it?" And I'm like, "No." I said, "That Michael Bryan, or whatever the fuck his name is running it." He's like, "All right, well, I was wondering if he needed any spots filled on the show."
Trying to get on?
It's like, dude, you have fallen so far.
Oh, yes.
And,
if I may, and I talked about this earlier with Thomas, and I talked about, look, I don't care what you do and when you do it and how you do it, but if you're going to do illegal substances that are going to alter your mind before a wrestling match, I will absolutely out you. I'm not gonna bring the guy's name up, but let's just say he was just the topic of the conversation only moments ago, and his name does not begin with a P.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll never forget seeing him actually on one of your shows, and I didn't out him because I loved him.
Was that when he wrestled Marcellus?
And I probably should have. I don't recall. It was when you did the Venue 29 the first time you did that.
Oh, that was...
It was EVO 8.
Yes.
Right?
EVO 8.
Crushing up a Percocet and sniffing it. And I never ever... And I'm like, dude, I'm a worker, okay? You can't work me. And I'm a smart guy. I'm a college graduate. I run a $2 million a year industry as a shoe job business. I know what I'm doing, okay?
Yeah.
I said, what are you doing, man? He goes, oh, I do this because it calms my nerves and it helps me breathe better when I'm in the ring. What the hell are you talking about? And you just gotta make sure you don't hurt anybody.
The sad truth behind that is, like, people like that believe that shit.
Yeah.
Like
that's what they've trained themselves to believe. And I just sat there and I watched him, and I liked him, so I never outed him to you. And I was just like, and I just thought to myself,
I knew about a lot of it. Yeah.
And I just thought to myself, I was like, you do what you do, man. But I swear to God, if your opponent comes back, and I think it was
Caleb.
Yeah, and I said, I swear to God, if your opponent comes back hurt, you're gonna hear it from me.
Yeah. When that's when Joey took the damn brain buster on the top.
Yeah.
Brother, and got damn German on the apron.
Yes. He took a lot of sick bumps that night, so maybe he needed to do what he did.
Yeah.
But brother,
the whole drive up here, the shit that I thought about, I was thinking about talking about. I never thought that we'd go on so many tangents.
Brother, we haven't begun the tangent yet. We're at the T.
Yes.
In tangent.
Okay, fair enough.
So where were we? Like
CWA. After we won the belts.
Yeah, you hated
it. I mean, I was legit with Ty, and me and Ty became pretty good friends, and we still are to this day. And I'm sure you'll want to get into that I'm become somewhat behind the look of PWX.
I do owe you a thank you for producing that great PSA with T Max and that pretty viral.
Did it?
Yeah, it was pretty fun, man. It got pretty viral.
That was like
the steroid PSA.
I remember it. Yeah. It's still on PWX.
G.I. Joe ripoff. It's still up.
Yes.
Yeah, it's still up.
It's on YouTube. Find it, people. Yeah. I remember when you guys grabbed me because I was doing the undergrounds.
Yeah.
And then it was your idea to do that For the Love of It, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was behind the whole For the Love of It movement with PWS or whatever.
And see, a lot of this shit. I don't want to take away anything from Ty because Ty's booking is bar none, some of the best.
Ty's best strength is listening to people and then pushing it and tweaking it.
Which is mine. Which is one of mine.
Yeah, like Ty. And Ty, you know, I made a lot of Ty's posters. I made a lot of Ty's logos. I made a lot of Ty's, you know, catchphrases. Ty realized this guy's creative. I'm going to use him to my advantage.
Exactly, and that's what he.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And but Ty's doing his deal. Then he goes down to Jacksonville. Doesn't hear anything. I'm not doing anything in wrestling just because I don't care.
Nobody knows
what's going on.
Ty.
Like you.
Like Joey Sylvia knows.
Yeah. Well, Ty goes down.
Ty. I'm trying to do the old Shawn
catches some demons.
Nose in there.
Yeah. catches some demons. I did a King of the Ring tournament for him down there. Where I wrestled. Hence. Wrestler that we're talking about.
It was like you were going to say El Generico. I was like, whoa!
No.
Wait a minute. Funny story with El Generico.
He's a cool ass dude.
Actually.
It's funny. Hey, I got a funny story with El Generico.
Well, maybe not funny, but he obviously knows. Judging by the conversation he had with me and Derek Rise at EVO show,
yes.
He obviously doesn't know who I am. Not saying that in a he should know, I'm just saying he obviously doesn't know who I am. Because the conversation he had with me, Derek did Chuck Taylor's boot to the face move. We heard about that. Yes.
Oh.
We heard about that from El Generico. With, and rightfully so. I totally get it. And I even went up to Chuck afterwards and I said, hey, dude, look, I called your move, not even thinking about you being on the show, just thinking it's an EVO show.
Yeah.
I'm working for EVO.
It's fun.
Quick move to fill in. And Chuck's like, dude, I don't care.
The shit wasn't on iPay-per-view.
No.
So who the fuck cares? There was 20 people there. But, God, I can't wait till we get to that part of this.
But he gave a lot of good, other than
he's a smart
Generico doing that, he gave a lot of good advice. He watched the entire match, which he didn't even have to do. So
my story about
we call him El Gen on the street.
My story with him is I had to drive him and Colt. Who was it? Him and Colt and somebody else. Marty DeRosa.
Yes.
Around Atlanta.
Which you kind of look like.
I look like Marty DeRosa?
Maybe.
Maybe. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
I hear that I look like a bunch of people.
Who did say you looked like? Nah, I don't remember. Do you remember?
No.
It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant to this conversation. Why are you bringing it up?
I didn't. You brought it up.
You know, I would like to know where EVO came from.
Are we going to EVO? Let me tell my El Generico story.
Oh, your
because I'm driving them around Atlanta, which Atlanta.
Drop this.
Fucking sucks.
That's your name.
Oh. And I drive down 85 in Atlanta.
Did you not hear me?
Yes.
What did I say? What did I say?
I don't know.
The whole sentence structured together.
Oh, I just heard Matt Hardy.
I know.
Oh, you know Matt Hardy.
As a matter of fact, let me call him. You go on your story. I need to call him.
I don't know.
I need to return his.
I know Matt Hardy likes the video that I did for the last PWX show.
Hey, Matt. No, dude, I told you time and time again, you don't need to thank me.
I'm quickly remembering why I fucking hate you.
Matt, I realize I came up with the name Team Extreme. I know I invented the Twist of Fate.
Tell him Patrick said hey. Tell him Patrick said hey.
Yes, Patrick from SpongeBob.
Exactly.
Yes, the star of the show.
I was the inspiration for that
Patrick,
character.
the star of the show. Do you get that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a funny guy. Hey, listen, Matt.
I'm with you on that one.
Hey, Matt, I don't have time for you right now. I apologize. I'll call you back when I get some time.
Shit.
All right, Matt? All right. I know you love me too.
Put a graphic up right.
I know. All right. Okay, Matt. Matt. Hold on. I'm responsible for his success. Okay, Matt. Give Jeff my love. Oh, bye-bye. Sorry.